I don't know whether to speak English or Polish. My first instinct is to speak English because that was Victor's language. And I think if you knew Victor, probably you spoke English with him, yeah? So you probably understand English. Does everyone understand?
Yep.
Although I think some people actually played music with Victor without speaking English. To prawda, Maciek, że grałeś z Wiktorem i jak rozmawiałeś z nim? Po polsku czy po angielsku? Po angielsku, więc rozumiesz, okay. So maybe I'll just speak English. We've got Victor here with us, thanks to Roy, who did a kind of just straightforward printout of Victor's smiling face. And that's the Victor that we knew. That's the Victor I knew. I never got to know any other Victor. I don't know who's here tonight exactly, so some of you might have known him in a different way than me, but I knew him actually because of this stage right here that I'm standing on. And when I heard of Victor's death, I just immediately felt that I needed to organize something like this on this stage, because it was this little place that brought everybody together with Victor when he came to Krakow. And about 7 years ago, I created an open mic here. And it was the very first open mic in Krakow. There hadn't been any kind of event like that here, and it was sort of a new concept. So if I can claim any fame in the city, it's having brought this phenomenon of the open mic to Krakow, and there are a bunch of them now. But the very first one was here, and I did it until about a year ago when it was taken over by Igor Herzik. And I kept coming to the open mic, and there was one time when I walked in, maybe a year ago, a year and a half, I don't know, I've lost track of time. I don't even know how long Victor was here. It might have been 2 years ago. I came in and I sat down right there, and there was a guy on the stage, and he wasn't singing, he was just sitting with his guitar in this chair, and he was talking, and I just knew right away he was from my town. Just the way he was talking, and that smile. This smile is from my town. I just knew. I had a feeling, first of all, for sure he was from Canada, and probably West Coast. And I think a lot of you thought he was a particular character, like a very unique character, and he was. But for me, he was typical Vancouver. Like, he was really Vancouver species. You go there, this is how people smile, this is how people talk. And so this was my first connection with Victor, was just like, I've lived here 12 years, and he's the only person I've ever met here from my town. So immediately there's this bond. And then, of course, the music open mic kept us in touch. Every time I came, I mean, this street is my territory, along with a lot of friends here. We're all connected to Magnussen and Szafe, and it's a whole community. And every time I came to Magnussen or Szafe, I knew I would see Victor and little Bernie. And it's strange for me now to be coming to these places and to not have Victor here anymore. And I can't say that we were in the same musical world. I think a lot of you know what kind of music I play. And but Victor was so open-minded, he quite aggressively always tried to get me to play with him. And I just kind of ignored his emails a lot. And I can't say that I have regrets. I mean, when someone dies, it's best just to focus on positive things, but I do wish maybe at least once or twice I had gotten together with Victor to try to play Runaway Train on my accordion, because he wanted to do it so badly with me. But, you know, life doesn't allow us to do everything. And I wish I had more to say about Victor, but for me this is who he was. A smiling guy who brightened up a lot of days on Felicianic Street for me. And I really enjoyed his music. And I want to end my little chaotic speech here with just one comment, that when I heard about his death, my first thought was, oh my God, he was taken so young, and it just seemed like such a tragedy that someone so young died. And then when I read his obituary, I found out he was 60 years old, which is still too young to die, of course. You could still live another 20 years, but I thought he was no more than 45. And I think that says a lot about Victor. I always thought of him as a man in his early or mid-40s. He was so energetic. I would say there were days when I felt half dead, and there was Victor just bouncing around and smiling and full of life. So I pray for all of us to have even just a small spark of what Victor had. So I want to invite people out maybe to share some stories, and I hope some of you have some more to say about Victor than I do, because in the end I feel like I didn't spend enough time with him, which is maybe what allows me to get up here and do this, because you need a little bit of distance from someone, I think, to be able to overcome feelings and actually start to talk about them. So if anybody wants to tell us something, it could be a story about an experience you shared with Victor, something you heard from Victor, because I think he probably had a lot of good stories to tell. In tradition of the open mic that I started and which allowed us all to meet Victor, I'm going to have this like an open mic, and my tactic is just to let people come up when they feel this spark of inspiration. There's no sign-up list or anything, so if you want to come up and say something, you just stand up, come on up. And we've got a couple of musicians that I'm very grateful to because they learned some of Victor's songs. And there were some other musicians who wanted to come but couldn't make it. One guy's on his honeymoon. We can still see his wedding decorations. And I think Tomek has a concert tonight, yeah, it's too bad. Tomek played with Victor, but we've got some of Victor's other musicians who played with him. So what songs are we going to hear tonight?